Our first guests are the two creators of Steel City Improv Theater, Justin Zell and Kasey Daley. A frequent contributor to independent improv troupes, Justin taught and coached improv at the People's Improv Theater in New York City. Kasey is an alleged performer at roughly a bajillion locations in New York City, and she also appeared in the cult films Strange Girls and The Crab, which was an official selection of the Edinburgh International Film Festival. Justin and Kasey, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's awesome.
So, yeah, thanks. So, Steel City Improv, how did it come to be?
Well, we moved here about a little over a year ago and just started teaching classes.
Yeah.
Out of a community center in Lawrenceville, and then got hooked up with CASGED, which is the Spring Garden Community Alliance, and they had a space, and we had been looking for a space because we wanted to do shows every weekend. And
with a lot of volunteers, a lot of help.
A lot
from
of volunteers.
Her dad and his friends. We built a theater in the basement of the old Emmanuel Church,
which is now the Madison Avenue Meeting House.
Now the Madison Avenue Meeting
Yes.
House. Right.
Oh, excellent. So, what type of shows do you guys put on in a given week?
Well, we always have our Monday night show, which is a totally free Monday night show, which we have our house teams, which do long-form improvisation, where they get one suggestion, and then you'll see a series of scenes from those suggestions. Each group does about 20 minutes, so it's a little over an hour show. And it's the best that we have to offer, we feel like, and we're giving this as an opportunity for people to see improv and learn what it's about, for those who haven't seen it before.
Right.
And then Friday and Saturday nights, we have all kinds of different improv and comedy shows, including podcast recordings and things like that.
Great. Can you give me a sample? Not like a sample, you don't have to improv right now. But so like Sit Social, I've heard of this. Like what?
Oh, the Skit Social, yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
Skit Social.
That's where we named it Steel City Improv Theater, so that we could shorten it and call it Skit.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, the Skit Social is basically our jam, which anybody can come. It's totally free to play or just to watch if you want to. Okay. And what we do is we try to mix people up. We try to put pairs together that have never been put together before. They get to do a few scenes just to warm up, and then we allow them to do another like 15 to 20 minute set of just a montage of just a bunch of scenes, and allow them to edit themselves and just have fun.
Cool. And it's a great way to just try it. And it's very low pressure. It's also a great thing if you're a more experienced person to come in and really practice, and especially with people who are less experienced, because that's how you get better a lot of the times.
Right. So people sort of have to they come up on stage, they feel we're kind of nervous, and this is a good way for them to sort of just get right into it.
Exactly.
It's a very open environment then.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. We really want to foster a very supportive, fun environment, whether it's in our classes or in our shows or our jams, anything like that. We want to make sure that people feel like they can get up and do it themselves, because that's what it's about. It's about getting up and doing it, really.
Yeah. And having fun.
And having fun,
Exactly.
yeah, exactly.
So you said a sort of a house crew. Is there a troupe of improvists that put on the shows, or is it a part of you?
Well, we have, what we do is we have auditions. So we had auditions, and we basically put together two groups, which are the Owl Room and the Intervention, and they perform at 8 o'clock. And then after that, the teacher team, which consists of myself, Justin, and Emily Askin, who's our level 3 teacher, then we all perform as the union.
All right.
Because when you're a teacher, you have to join the union.
Right.
It's a union town.
It's all about the proletariat, Steel City Improv.
Exactly.
All about the people.
And so the house teams, basically, if you're put on a team, you have to rehearse every week, and with a coach, and then you get to do the show every week. And it's really remarkable to see people, especially in groups and troupes like this, that from their first week to now, it's been 6
months.
Yeah, and it's really just the leap that it's
They're able to make.
it's a great show. It's a great show.
Excellent. So what are the types of games that you guys perform? And we all know the Whose Line Is It Anyway type games, but is it the same types of games? Do you guys incorporate a lot of those different things, or?
Well, for us, I think those games end up, when you do make the transition from short form improvisation, which is Whose Line Is It Anyway, to more long form, which is basically, it just means it's less suggestions, and it's just a series of scenes based off those suggestions or off the other scenes, sometimes monologues. So that's an example of one of the shows that we have monthly we call it the Marvin. It's called the Armando some places, it's called Azcat other places, or a monologue deconstruction where we get a monologist and the improvisers do scenes off of that monologue and other monologues, personal monologues, where you find the most detail. So that's an example of, so we say the Armando or the Marvin as we call it is an example of some people might call it a game or a format, basically. We do a lot of long form formats.
And the reason why we call it the Marvin is because one day Marvin Hamlish will show up and do a monologue,
and then we'll cancel the show.
And then it's done. It's finished.
And it'll be over.
It'll be over.
Yeah, we can't wait till him to do it, but he hasn't called us yet.
Exactly. But with long form, I think that really it can either look two ways. It can either look like, hopefully, a great episode of Saturday Night Live with sketches, or it can look like a one-act play.
Oh, cool.
There's like a one.
That's actually when Kasey and I just performed by ourselves. Let's say Emily's not there, or before we had Emily join the union. We did a thing called a mono scene, which basically looks like a little one-act play where you may enter and exit and you may play multiple characters, but it's all in the same exact location the whole time. You never change, you never cut to any other scenes. So
and there's a beginning.
Yeah, a lot of memory have to be associated with that because as you're coming in and out, you have to remember what's going on before, and if you go in,
And what's fun for us is that we play each other's characters.
Oh, cool.
So
that's one of the best sets we ever did. We really enjoyed that. That was really fun.
Yeah,
Excellent.
super fun.
Great. So audience members that come to see your show, we say that maybe they don't have any experience with improv. Do you offer any classes, things that they can sort of, get their feet wet?
Yeah, currently we have several levels of improvisation. Right now we have level 0, which is someone that just wants to, they've never tried it before. Maybe they don't have as much money right away, and they only want to do a very short class. It's a 4-week class. It's about half the price of our normal level 1.
Right.
And it's mostly just improv games, and group games and fun stuff to do as a group, and just to get your feet wet. And then we have level 1 and level 2 and level 3 and so on to level 4.
Level 1 really begins your training.
Is the real for beginning of the training. Yeah, level 0 is not a required class. You don't have to take it in order to take our other classes, but you have to take level 1 in order to take level 2 and so on and so forth.
Gotcha.
And I think level 1 is really about, it's the principles of improv. So it is yes and.
Yep, yes and, commitment.
Listening,
making statements.
Right, and yes and is one of those rules that are sort of ingrained in improv.
That's the number 1 rule.
Right,
number
so
1 rule,
yeah.
no no's, no, let's continue, yes.
Take the information from your partner and add to it, yes and. We're going to build, building blocks one at a time. We're going to build a scene in a world that we're living in.
That's awesome.
And I think that's the thing that we like to focus on is that, yes, we do want it to be funny, and we hope it's funny. But I think if underneath it, it's good scene work and good acting as well. It is theater. It's theater, but it just happens to be improvised.
Right.
And it's truthful.
Yeah, because everything's sort of, you're up on stage and there it is. It's out there and it's ready to go.
Yeah.
Do you ever feel any pressure to be funny?
I don't. Not anymore.
In the beginning, you do. I think everybody who starts out, and I always try to tell my students right off the bat, just do not take that pressure off yourself right now. I don't want you to be funny. I just want you to be truthful, and I just want you to have fun.
Okay. All right. Well, Steel City Improv Theater offers comedy shows on Fridays and Saturday nights, and a free improv show on Monday nights at 8 p.m. They offer classes from intro to improv to more advanced improv classes and workshops for everyone. Visit them at steelcityimprov.com to learn more. Thanks, guys, for joining us.
Well,
Thank you.
Sean.
Yeah.
Yay, good interview.
Good interview.